Hey guys, Derek with Dependable Painting and Remodeling here. We are back for another awesome winter season. It's literally that time of the year again where we're out of Georgia, Atlanta market. It's cold, it's rainy. Hell, some days like today, it's rainy, now it's warm. The weather is all over the place, and I know a lot of you out there have questions regarding your projects, whether we're doing them for you or if you're in another area. What type of weather is acceptable for what type of project? And I just wanted to come on and shoot a quick video on kind of my thoughts and what we've experienced in our company throughout all the jobs we've done. So first and foremost, temperature is a big issue. All the products that we use can go down to about 35 degrees Fahrenheit for surface temperature. Now, you have ambient temperature, which is obviously what you look at on the weather report, but we really care about surface temperature. The good news is most of the exteriors in our area, it's a lot of hardy siding. The houses obviously are insulated. You got your heat on inside. So typically the wall is going to be warmer than the ambient temperature, and it's okay to paint. Now, keep in mind, there are other factors, and a lot of these are going to be simultaneous, so they all have to be going on at once. So if we are getting down to that 35-degree mark where we're kind of at the real low end of the temperature, a couple things are going to happen. Number one, the paint is going to take longer to cure. And that's totally okay, right? It will lay down nice, and our guys are trained and experienced to make sure if it's an exterior and we're spraying, that we layer it on thinner so that we don't get globs of paint where you'll see runs in it and drips in it because it takes longer to cure, okay? And that's something that can totally be worked around, so with the right experience, we're definitely comfortable with that. The second factor is going to be, what is the day going to do, right? Sunshine. So if we're close to that 35 mark, but the high of the day is going to be 60 and it's sunny outside, then we're totally okay in that situation. And odds are our crew, or if you're doing a project at home, you might want to start an hour later, let it warm up a little bit, and then conversely finish earlier so that you got some nice sunshine on it and you'll let that paint set up. Just once again, make sure you're layering it on thin. You don't want to go real thick. You might want to increase your number of coats needed, but definitely not too thick, because do keep in mind it is going to take a lot longer to cure. Now, everything we use is rain ready in about 2 hours, so you really don't have to worry about that. And specifically if you're spraying, a lot of that can be reduced to about an hour, so you're not really gonna have a moisture issue. And keep in mind, 90% of the paints now are latex, they're water-based, so it's not like the water is going to interfere with the cure or anything like that, okay? Another factor is, what is the weather going to do over that night and into the next day? So maybe you want to not plan your exterior job if you know that you're going to have a 35-degree day, but the high is going to be 60, but then middle of the night and the next day it's all rain. So you got to kind of work around it, but it's nothing wrong with it. It's going to be okay, and it'll cure properly, and it'll last you a really long time. The other big service that we offer that's really weather conditioned, that's conditioned upon the weather, is staining, okay? Fences and decks. And both are going to be a little bit different, even though the stain is the same, right? So stain, very similar, about 35 degrees surface temperature, and that's something that once again, your fence doesn't have any insulation. There's no heat on the inside. So that's going to be pretty close to ambient temperature. So you definitely want to make sure that that is okay. So in other words, you don't want to go out there first thing in the morning on a 35-degree day and start working on the fence. On your exterior, that ambient temperature might be 35, but the wall, because it's hardy and because of the insulation and the heat, that might already be 43, 44, so you have more leeway. On a fence, you really want to go back to what I was saying, where you want to make sure you got a good, nice high, maybe 50 or better, and more importantly, sunshine. So you want to do your staining projects in the wintertime on a sunny day. Stains do not like super high heat, so definitely there's nothing wrong with doing them in the wintertime, but you definitely want to make sure that you're not doing them on that low end, and you kind of do what I say, wait an extra hour, kind of let that temperature, let's pretend it's a 35-degree day, let that temperature move up a little bit, maybe wait an hour, maybe it's now 40. The high, let's say, is 50, but it's nice and sunny, you got good sunshine, and then just make sure you call it a day in the late afternoon so we can get an hour or two of sunshine. Most of the stains that we use are gonna set up, which means dry to the touch, in about an hour or 2 hours, so you're pretty much okay there. And once again, most of them are indeed latex, so they're water-based, so it's totally okay there. Obviously, you want to avoid rain. And then if you're working on a deck, I would strongly encourage you to take that same roll and really just try and work in that middle of the day kind of sunny window, specifically on the deck floor, because that's going to just take a little bit longer to cure than the style wood that's on a fence. But nice and easy, you just do everything the exact same way, pay a little bit of attention to the weather, and then ultimately what we recommend for decks is we'll tell people to just stay off of them for 2-3 days, make sure it has some nice sunshine to cure, and we'll make sure we plan those in a little gap of the week where there's a lot of sun. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. You can always get a hold of us at our office here. We're happy to answer any questions. We have a lot of experience just due to the nature of Georgia and the weather we live in dealing with weather. We have other problems in the summer that we'll do another video about, but rest assured, paint technology has come a long way and we got everything under control. I hope you guys have a great winter season, happy holidays, and we'll catch everybody soon.